Right, if you're going to listen to me now then. I don't care if you were born here. That being born here doesn't make you a British citizen. What makes you British, yeah? I mean, that makes you a British citizen if you're born here. What makes you British is if your ancestors were born here for hundreds of thousands of years, like mine were. If you were just born here and your parents came from somewhere else, or your grandparents came from somewhere else, or your grandparents came from somewhere else, guess what? You're just a British citizen. You haven't gone through what our culture has been through. You haven't been through the like I say, hundreds of thousands of years of our Christian heritage, of us battling each other, of the Saxons, of the Scottish, of the Welsh, of the Irish, and all that stuff. That's what makes someone British. That's what makes someone English. That's what makes someone's Irish, Scottish, Welsh. And if you're just gonna like completely ignore all of that and just be like, oh, I'm British because I live here now. That's the same as me being like, oh, I'm Indian now because I live in India. Oh, I'm Chinese now because because I was born here in China. No, no, no. I'm white British. You're a British citizen. But I mean, I don't know where your parents came from. Maybe you could tell me more about your parents. Where did they come from? I've thought you said they came from Pakistan or something like that. I'm pretty sure it was something like that. But and if that is the case, you're Pakistani British citizen. So there is a bit of a difference there. Don't get me wrong though. Like I completely believe in Jesus. I believe that we are all one human family. I believe that we are all made in His image and we are equal before Him. In this reality, in this world, we are not equal. Do you know what I mean? Men are good at some things, women are good at some things. That kind of thing. But before God, we are all equal. So please just understand where I'm coming from. I see my culture getting destroyed. I see my people getting trodden on and just put down all the time. White hatred and stuff like that, British hatred. The flags are being called racist and all this kind of bollocks. And it's like we've given the most good to the world. We stopped slavery. You know what I mean? So much good stuff, and we've just been getting abuse and abuse and abuse since I was a little kid. I've seen it. You know what I mean? But it's like you can't even talk about it. So, like I say, it really pissed me off. That there's the Home Secretary. I can never say her name, Mashana Mahmood or something, and she thinks she's English, but she's got Pakistani parents. It's like, no, you're not. You might be an English citizen, you might be a British citizen, but you're not English. The same as I'm not Pakistani. The same as if I had a kid in Pakistan with a white British woman, that kid would be white British living in Pakistan. So these aren't racist things to say. These are just logical things to say. You know what I mean? Like I say, we're all one human family. We all look slightly different. We've all grown up, or our ancestors have been brought up for hundreds of thousands of years in different environments, and that's why we all look a bit different. Do you know what I mean? But that's just what it is. And then there's a culture that's the issue. There's a religion that's the issue. There's all sorts of stuff in it. It's a very complex issue that I've been learning a lot about. So it's not racist to tell people to get out of your country. It's not. Explain how it's racist to say that, if it is, because it isn't. If people are offended by the flag, guess what? They can go to another country. They can get out of the country, can't they? Why would you want to stay somewhere where you're offended by the flag? That's ridiculous. That's retarded. People are getting more and more angry every day, like myself, because we keep seeing illegal immigrant does this, illegal immigrant does that, illegal immigrant does this to my people. And also we see legal migrant does this, legal migrant does that, or someone whose parents moved over here does a horrible thing, or someone whose parents moves over here and does a horrible thing. And we just keep seeing it again and again and again. And it's like we've already got our homegrown issues. Why the hell are we letting this happen? Do you know what I mean? And we keep seeing it, and we keep seeing racism towards white people in the news and stuff like this. And it's just a lot of people are getting to that tipping point where we're just like, right, out, get out. You've been the guest. We've let you come over. We've got these traditional Christian values because that's the values that have built this country. It's Christian values. So that, and everyone has like, even people who say like, oh, I'm not Christian, but they have Christian values, and they've got those because of the country that they live in. No Christian values that say that we can't say like oh, I'll get out of my country and stuff like that. The thing is, I've made this post where it's like Jesus Christ never taught to let people into your country who want to rape and kill and murder you and stuff like that and change your culture and stuff like that. He never taught that because lots of people always quote to me like, oh yeah, but Jesus Christ said love the foreigner or something like that, or be friends with your neighbor and stuff like that. But obviously there's a line. There's a line of no, you're taking the fucking piss. Fuck off. So that's what that. So when you say from where you mention ancestors, etc., etc., it makes sense. So the real question is why the rage if you believe we are all the same and love Jesus? I'm sure the Bible doesn't teach rage and hatred. I mean, like I just said before, there's a line that's been crossed. Okay, we keep seeing so many things happening. I've experienced a lot of racism, a lot of hate towards me because I'm white British, and we just keep seeing it constantly being taken the piss out of in so many different ways all around the world, and we just fell up with it. And I can have love and compassion for my enemies. That's what Jesus taught. Jesus taught have love and compassion for your enemies, but that doesn't mean bend over fucking backwards for them. Do you know what I mean? It means stand up for yourself, stand up for the ones you care about. We don't fight because we hate the people that's in front of us. We fight because we love the people that are behind us. I'll tell you what I've done for my country. I come from a line of people who have done a lot for this country. And when I was younger, I wanted to join the Royal Marine Commandos, and I even tried again to join the army when I was like 28 or something. I got a fuckload of injuries from doing that. Like it's not even a question to me of what I've done. I know I've done more than enough. I'm doing what I'm doing now. I'm talking about the boats. I'm talking about the illegal migrants and stuff like that. I'm doing what I can with my physical and mental health issues. I'm doing what I can, which is more than most in this country. But the important point is this: yeah, you want to question what I'm doing. Yeah, what about my lineage? What about my parents? What about my grandparents? What about my great grandparents? Remember this, right? Go back to the fact that there used to be no hot water. There used to be no heating. There used to be no bricks, no double glazing, no strong double glazing doors, no Costa coffee shops, no Tesco's, no buses, no trains, no electricity, no taxis, no police, no. Do you know what I mean? And it used to be mud and cold here all the time. It used to be so cold here, and there was starvation. What I've done, what my ancestors, because remember, I am my father's father's father. That's who I am. I am my father's father's father, right? So what I've done is I've built this fucking country, is what I've done, and that's what the benefits come from that you are now experiencing. And that I don't just mean financial benefits. I don't just mean the benefits. I mean everything. The shops on the corner, the road underneath your feet, everything. That's what it is. That's what I've done. That's what we've all done. All the people here who are homegrown. That's what we've all done, and we've been taking the piss out of. So I'm not continuing to talk to you if you're gonna write bullshit. You do not understand race. You do not understand race. Okay. We are one human race. Racism is fucking stupid, isn't it? It's nothing to do with race. It's to do with culture. It's to do with people's behavior. It's to do with people establishing countries and stuff like that. It's not nothing to do with race. You should know more than anyone. It's not to do with race. So you have to think about that. But yeah, if you want to keep talking to me, make voice notes. You've got a lovely voice. Use it. But honestly, if you're just going to keep going down this way, I really don't want to talk to you because you are being so disrespectful to me. You are being so motherfucking disrespectful to me and my ancestors. Please can remember that. They starved, they died, they fought each other. They've been through so much hardship. And then they got the England. I'm talking about even before England was England. And then they got the England flag. And because they were slaves, don't forget that. This is another thing that a lot of people don't realize. The British people have been slaves, and we're still slaves to the king. And he's not my king, and he's not a king. There is only one king, Jesus Christ. I've still not read any of your messages. I'm seeing a lot of capital letters. I'm just gonna guess you're saying the exact same bullshit that is motherfucking bullshit. And all you're trying to do is do that whole little you're being racist. You don't even fucking know what racism is. You don't know what you're being racist to me. You're being racist to white British people, telling us our flag's racist and telling us we're all fucking bad and all that bullshit. Why don't you fuck off and stop benefiting from what my ancestors did? What my ancestors died for you to be this fucking spoiled bitch. No voice note, no talkie. I've just glanced again, loads of words, still in capital letters. I'm not listening to you. Talking voice notes, I'm not listening to you. I know you've got a good enough phone to do it. So just talking voice notes. Stop offending me and my people. Because that's what you're doing. You're offending me and my people. Seriously, just think about the generations of my ancestors that went through hell in the cold, which is why we've got such light skin. And to build all of this all around us, 99%, we built it 99%. Remember that. Because, yeah, loads of people came over after World War II. But who built that base for thousands of years? My people. You're being racist to me. You're being racist to my people. You're just being disrespectful to me and my people and my country. So, like I say, I'm not going to read anything you've put. And this is just going on what you put before. So maybe you've changed your mind and you're being nice now, but I don't think so. I can see laughing faces there. So I don't know what's wrong with you. I don't know why you can't sort of think or get into the mindset of like my people and my ancestry and why that's important. And a lot of people aren't being taught that, are we? We're literally being taught to not to be like to be almost apologetic for our past and all this kind of stuff, completely forgetting what we've actually been through, how we've been enslaved by kings and queens and lords and all that kind of bullshit. And do you know what I mean? And it's just like, but we've worked together as a people and come together to make this great country what it is. It's still fucking falling apart now. It still needs loads fixing. And you're just taking the fucking piss out of it. You've got your nice life over here and you're just taking the piss out of someone whose ancestors built that. That's what you're doing. If anyone's being racist, it's you, buddy. So sort yourself out. And the thing is, yeah, I know you're a beautiful, intelligent woman. And it's just like, but you're not using that. You're not trying to. Have you even read any books, any self-development books over the past however many fucking 10 years we've been talking? Like, have you ever done that? Have you ever read the Bible? Have you ever read Seven Habits of Highly Effective People? Any studied any Buddhism? Have you read Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill? Have you read Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl? There's loads of books. And it's like I bet you haven't. I bet you fucking haven't. Like I say, not reading any of that. Not reading nothing. You do a voice note. You want to really stand behind what you are saying. Say it. Say it.
Sound really angry, and the fact that you've called me a bitch and you've called me racist just says a lot about you than it does about me. But my point still stands that you're saying your ancestors, they did this, they did that, they were slaves, they provided, they did everything for the country. But I'm sorry, in the history books and from the history that I've done and the whole of, the internet, clearly specifically states that the Africans were made slaves by British people, and slavery took place there. And then I think it was in the 18 something, the law passed that slavery is no longer going to take place. Again, not all white people did this, but there was a majority that did do this for many, many years. So when you say my country, my ancestors, my this, my that, no, that's not entirely correct. And no, I'm not being disrespectful to your ancestors. God give them a great life after death. But I hope you understand what my point is and where I'm coming from. Again, Nathaniel, you're a great person, right? You've been good to me the times that we had together. But I know you're not going to take my advice, and it doesn't really matter. But when you're having like a debate or when you're trying to get a point across to someone, just don't come across as angry, built with rage, and like be disrespectful and stuff, because it's not very nice. Like, I'm trying to understand. Yeah, I was saying, sorry, I had a call come through. I'm trying to understand everything that you're saying, but I can only understand if you're going to say it and word it in a way for me to understand, because everything's a learning point, right? So I'm trying to understand and learn, because I've seen the flags around everywhere. Like when you're going towards Derby, you see the flags, fair enough. But I've never understood like why are the flags there. I get it, people are patriot for the country, etc. It's understandable, but I'm trying to understand, from you. I'm trying to like. It would be more helpful. What I'm trying to say is, it would be more helpful if you were not so mean about what you're saying. And I'm not taking the piss. And I'm not being rude. I'm not being disrespectful. I'm not being racist. I'm not being anything, because I'm not any of them things. I have white friends. I chill with my white friends. I talk to my white friends. Okay? So please, just take a chill. I don't know. Go eat something. Have a coffee. You know, when you say my country and you say like you know, rapists and all of this, it's rage. I get it. It's not just rage for you, it's rage for me too, because I was born here. I get it, my ancestors weren't from here. But when I see a young girl getting raped, when I see a paedophile, when I see things happening, it does really tick me off because it's human nature. And I've experienced that. I've experienced being in town, and I've had a man harass me. I've had a man talk to me. I've had a man, you know, touch me up. I've had a woman save me from that. I've had a woman being harassed by a black man, by a white man, and I've saved women from that. So when you turn around and say, like, oh, you know, legal migrants this, immigrants this, all of that, it's from all backgrounds. You know, you get the people that were born here also do these things as well. So instead of segregating religions, instead of segregating immigrants, migrants, etc., I feel like you should be mindful that legal migrants have done quite a lot for this country too. Costa shops, they're not all run by British white-born people who have ancestors that are from Britain, by the way. Your takeaways, Wendy's, this is the Popeyes. There's all of these places in town that you see that are not run by white British people. They are actually run by legal migrants who work there, who are providing for your people. So if you're saying my country, you want people out, you have legal migrants that are providing for your people, who are serving your people, who are doing things for your people. So maybe be mindful of that too, to an extent, rather than like just, I know, again, you don't care about my opinions and what I have to say, but rather than you coming out with all of this rage, you know, that I'm a bitch or I'm this or I'm that and I'm being rude, I'm being disrespectful, I'm just making it make sense because it makes sense to me what I'm saying. I mean, the rest is up to you and how you think and what your mindset is, to be honest.
I think you're thinking of America. America had black slaves. England didn't have black slaves. England ended slavery. Sorry, Great Britain ended slavery. It was one of the first people to end slavery. There's still black slaves in other countries. It's not a white people thing, a white people owning black people thing. White people owned white people. Black people owned white people. Black people owned black people. When the Americans went to go and get, and the Americans are obviously the English and the English, British, and then German and stuff like that as well. But in the original people that founded America were English, British. They were the ones that set up the first colonies that later became American. So the Americans are basically English, British. But obviously, yeah, like German and stuff came into it as well, Irish and stuff like that. But yeah, I think you're probably talking about America because that's what happened. They went and because there was the Atlantic slave trade, but they literally bought black slaves off of black people in Africa who owned slaves. So that's not like a race thing. That's just a human. I mean, go back to the Ottoman Empire. That, if I'm not correct, it's the Muslim kind of empire, and they had slaves. And like I say, in lots of Muslim countries at the moment, there's black slaves. So, but white slaves were the majority. I mean, with the majority, we're just 100% in England. That was going on. They worked in mines, they worked in cotton houses. Children died in cotton houses, and then go back further and further and further before the Industrial Revolution, and it just gets worse and worse. If you can't, like, what do you think that just white British people just came out of existence one day and they just had everything given to them, and that there wasn't any horrible hard times to like establish this country? It gets very cold in the wintertime and used to get colder. When I say my ancestors, it is correct because if you trace back my ancestors and most of the white British people in Britain today, it is their ancestors that built this land. It's nine. That's why I say 99%. It's 99% built by us. 99%. Why are you even trying to argue that? Like, why are you actually trying to argue that? That is the way. That is the way. And the reason it's been like that for thousands of years, like I say, is the reason we have light skin tone skin. And that's the same with Europeans, right? Going back to the Germanic area, because that's obviously where the original British English came from, like the Anglo Saxons and the Vikings and all that kind of stuff. So if you want to go really far back, like I say, we can go as far back as we're all one human family, and I get that. But I'm just talking about this is what's happening in this country now. These are our values. These are our Christian values that were Christian values that started this country, that brought us all together, and it's now being destroyed and shit. And it's like it's not working now because people aren't assimilating, and we've got undocumented people coming over here, and like I say, we've even got illegal people coming over here who seemingly, like yourself, don't give a fuck about my ancestry and what built this country. You don't care. You just take, and what are you giving? If I'm telling you, I feel like you're being disrespectful to my ancestors, you can't then say no, I'm not. I mean, obviously you literally can, but like they're my ancestors. Like you can't tell me that my ancestors aren't feeling disrespected. If it's me, if I am my ancestors, those replies are literally just that first voice note. But thank you for doing voice notes. I will say, thank you for doing voice notes. I have a lovely voice, and I like listening to you speak. I disagree with you, but it's good to hear your voice.
I disagree with everything you've said. And I find it so funny how you're so rude. Like, since when did you become so rude and so dismissive? And no, Nathaniel, the British people had black slaves. What don't you understand from that? I'm not talking about American. I'm talking about fucking Britain. I'm talking about your fucking ancestors. In those times, they had black people as slaves. Please understand that and let that fucking sink in. If you can call me a bitch, I can also swear. I can also be a bitch. You want me to be a bitch? I'll be the bitch that you're saying that I am. Okay?
I wouldn't be coming across with rage and stuff like that if you hadn't have said the stuff that you've said, because this is something every day now that I'm seeing every day, and it's something that I've been experiencing, like I say, since I was a kid, and it's something my people have been experiencing for since World War II, since it's like we've been building ourselves back up since World War II, and then we've had loads of people coming over, and then we've had lots of like racism battles and stuff like that where it was literally racism, and then culture clashes, and now it's to the point where it's like we're like the evil people, and we just blame us for everything, just blame us for everything, we're so bad for everything, do you know what I mean? And it's like, but what about this, but what about that? And if we try and speak up, we even get called for fucking being racist, and it's fucking bullshit. So please, if you're really trying to understand me and where I'm coming from, please just understand that I will happily try and talk to everyone with love and compassion, with everyone, because I see everyone as we are all made in the image of God. We are one human family. I've got love and respect for everyone, but there is that line there. Like I say, there is that line there. So even if we're having a conversation, if someone's being disrespectful to me and just taking the fucking piss, it's like I'm gonna fucking tell them that. Like, why would I would expect you to do that?
What the hell happened to the Nathaniel that I knew many, many years ago that was mindful of what he was saying, mindful of his words? You really are something else now.
You were doing so well in like that voice note that I put the laughing face on when you were like, I'm trying to learn and I'm trying to be like this and try to that, and then you just start be like, just take a chill pill. It was funny. It made me laugh. But, oh, you just need to be more humble. You don't know about our history. You don't know what it's like to be white British. You don't know a lot of stuff. But just be humble about that and just, yeah, I don't know, and I am trying to learn. When you were saying that at the beginning of that voice note clip, I was like, yeah, awesome, that's good, respectful, and it's good that you want to learn, because that's the thing I say to a lot of people. If there's people in this country, if they have moved over here illegally, or even say their parents, whatever, right, and they're like a British national, like I think probably yourself, I think that's what it classes as, what you are. It's like, if you've got love for this country, if you've got love for the history and love for the people, and you want to keep it a Christian country, because that's what it is, that's what it has always been. Well, not always been, but you know what I mean. That's like what helped establish it as Great Britain. And you want to love the culture, you want to really get involved with the culture and love it, and um, just appreciate it and spread the appreciation of it. I'm all for that. Stay if you're about that, because that's showing a love for the place where you are, that is giving you so much love in the first place. Do you know what I mean? So that's what it's about. Because we keep seeing, because I'm also like, I'm against the king, I'm against the current government, the Labour government, and loads of people are, who are putting up the flag and stuff. Because it's like, that's not what Britain is. The current government is not what Britain is. The current king is not what Britain is. Britain is not just like the royal family and the government. It's a people. It's all of us, and it's our heritage. Because that cross, remember, you might not know this, but the cross on those flags, on the St. George flag and on the Union flag, is the cross of Jesus Christ. So it's the teachings of Jesus Christ that brought all the people together. And we just like happen to have a king and stuff. And there was a place for a king at a time and stuff like that. But ultimately, if you think about it, a king is the slave owner's owner. Do you know what I mean? Because the king does whatever he wants, doesn't he? He's the king. He can kill the slave owner if he wants to. You know what I mean? So the king's the ultimate slave owner, and there only is one king, really, and that, like I say, is Jesus Christ, and that's like the literal king that we give the kingship to, rather than the king who comes and takes it, who is the slave owner. You know what I mean? But keep having that attitude that you want to learn and keep being humble and stuff like that. And the reason I spoke to you that way before is, like I say, if you were in my position and you were reading the stuff that you were putting before, it's very insulting. But you're not, hopefully you're not being like that now, and that's the best way to be. And then we can have this. I'm all up for having a conversation. If you've seen, I did a 3 almost 4 hour video the other day with my brother. We're in the square talking to people, and talk to people about mass deportation. And we're very polite. We're always very polite. It's just how people speak to us. That's how we speak to them.
So, what are your thoughts on this then? Because isn't he white British? So, what should be done with people like that? I'd like to know your thoughts.
I am a couple of voice notes behind you, I think. But yeah, so one of the voice notes that I've just heard you there, you say like it's not just illegal migrants raping and stuff like that. It's from all backgrounds. This is one of the many conversations that we have like all the time with people, and it's like, yeah, if you look at the statistics, it's like more white men commit those crimes, let's say sexual crimes, than say non-white British men, stuff like that. But that's because it's a majority white country. We completely think, yeah, all those crimes are bad, and the death penalty should be brought back, and more severe punishments and stuff like that, completely across the board, like all of it. But the problem is when you go to per capita, so per thousand people and stuff, it's more non-white British people that are committing those crimes, and more often. Do you know what I mean? So say if you had 10,000 white men and you had 1,000 non-white men, there's more in that 1,000 non-white men committing those crimes than the 10,000 white men. It might be like 1,500 white men are committing those crimes out of 10,000, right? So that's more than 10%. But in the 1,000 non-white British men, there could be like 600 committing those crimes. So that's 60%. Do you know what I mean? So it's more per capita. And that's why we're like, what the fuck is this about? There's only like 14%, I can't remember the percent of people over here officially, but it's such a small, it's not a massively small percent, but it's like, it's a smaller percent of people who are here at the moment who say are non-white British, right? And yet they're committing a large amount of crimes, disproportionate to the people who are here who are white British. So even though when people say, "Oh yeah, but more white men are committing the crimes," it's actually like, yes, there are more white men committing the crimes, but if you look at all the people who are coming over here committing crimes, it's more of them per capita, if that makes sense, per thousand people, if that makes sense. It's to do with maths and stuff like that, you know. When you really look into it, it's like, what the fuck is this? Why are we letting this happen? And that is also leading me on to another point, which is, why are we importing this then? If we know this is happening at home, if we know this is happening in our neighborhoods with white British men, right? And white British women do horrible shit as well. Why are we then saying, yeah, let's also let other people come in here and do that? That's not a Christian thing to do. That's not following the teachings of Jesus thing to do. We need to stop those people and sort our own people out. We need to do both things at the same time. Personally, I don't give a shit about all the things that come over here from other countries. They can take them all away, they can leave. Because I see it as a bigger problem. You know what I mean? And it's like, white people can do those jobs. There's so many jobs these days, and I don't think you're even aware of this, where it's like DEI, where it's like they would rather a non-white British person do the job, and they get pushed out of the job, and they may experience racism in the job, but it's not called racism because it's towards a white person. It's just called, oh, this person has a problem me for something else. You know what I mean? And for people to speak up about it is like a big issue and shit. So it's like, it's not that like, oh, they've come here and they're helping us and they're so good. It's like, no, they're taking advantage. Because that, like I say, that's one thing that people always go to, like, oh, yeah, after World War II, a lot of people came over to help us out and shit like that. And it's like, oh yeah, we'll help you out, mate. We'll help you out, mate. But it's like, they've not paid contribution to, like I say, my ancestry. That's why I say 99% built by white British. Still to this day, it's still 99%. I don't care what they've done since World War II. Because the thing is, people keep trying to make this massive idea in the head that they've given so much, but it's nothing. It's a drop of water in a bucket, my friend. If that, probably less. So people want to make this big issue, like people will say about the NHS as well and stuff like that. And it's like, you seem to not be focusing on the fact that if we could just take all the people out who, like I say, aren't loving the country, respecting the country, flying the flag, and being really singing the praise and appreciating me and appreciating my people, if we took all the people out that weren't doing that, who were from other countries, who, even if their parents came here, took all those people out and the illegal people out, it would be a better country. It would be a safer country. It's like, that's the truth. You can't say like, oh, but you need these people, or they do so much good. It's like, no, they don't. No, they don't.
Okay, it was meant to be funny. That's why I sent it, because you were just coming across as rude and full of rage. And my messages were perfectly fine. It's the way you interpreted them and the way you wanted to interpret them made them seem like as if I was being rude, which I wasn't. And I'm always humble. I'm a humble person. I'm open to understanding. And I didn't know that about the flags, by the way. See, I've learned that from you. That the cross is basically Jesus Christ. There's different types of flags that I've seen. What's the Union Jack flag? Is that it? What's that for? Um, and I may not be Christian, but I have been to the church several times. I have gone to a church with my Pakistani friend, and I have sat in a church. I think this was before Christmas last year. They had their choir. I sat there. I watched the whole entire tradition. It was great. It was cool. I enjoyed it. So, I mean, when you say your country, your people, you're this, you're that, it kind of does come across as rude, because there's so many things that being a legal person who lives in this country, who's born here, basically, even though my ancestors weren't from here. I've enjoyed quite a lot of things that white people do.
And also, it's like, I hate to point this out as well, but it's pretty fucking obvious. If we have a jobs crisis in the United Kingdom, right, where, there's not that many jobs to that many people, maybe for the people who weren't from here, left, like you say, who are running these jobs and running these businesses and whatever, they do more jobs and businesses for white British people. That's just like an obvious thing right there. So I'm still a few voice notes behind, but I kind of feel like you're just going to go down the route of, and this is what a lot of people do, where it's just constant white hate, white British hate, which people aren't even aware of that they're doing. And it just goes down the line of, oh yeah, but white British people do this, white British people do that, and they don't do this, and they don't do that, and these people do this, and these people do that, and these people add to the country. You know what I mean? So it's like, I just want you, before I listen to the rest of these, I just want you to think about, are you doing that? Are you trying to flip this conversation and just be like, white people are bad, though? White people are bad. People coming here good. People coming here good. White people bad. Do you see what I'm saying? Because it seems to be that's just what you're doing. And like I say, what the fuck is that about? Are you even thinking about why the hell are you doing that? Because that's disrespectful to my ancestors. It's disrespectful to me. It's disrespectful to my people, my family. I don't know where you got the information that British people had black slaves. They did not have black slaves. Because think about it, when did they have black slaves? Because like I say, look at the climate of this country. It might be really hot right now, and in the summer it gets really hot, but it gets real fucking cold. And again, that's why we have light skin. So if people had slaves, when did they have them as black slaves in England? Because their ancestors would have had to, the skin tone would have changed, and then that would just be a white person, a white person like me. Maybe I'm black. I mean, we all are, like I say, one human family. It didn't happen like that. And also, when people want to talk about these slaves, like I say, you're again just going back to like, oh, but white people are bad, white people had slaves and all this shit. And it's just like, do you think every fucking white person was rich then and had slaves? No, they fucking weren't. Obviously, they fucking weren't. There's a very small amount, like today, are very, very rich and would have had slaves and stuff like that. And they had white slaves. They think they had white slaves. Why would they import slaves? Like, it's just so silly. It's just so crazy. I don't know where you got this information from. I don't know why you think that's true and shit. Because I can tell in your mind, you're just thinking, no, no, no. white people used black people to build Great Britain, and that was it. And white people just sat on their ass and did absolutely fuck all. And then the people that are claiming that, like Nathaniel, that his ancestors done so much, they're lying because they used the black people. It's fucking bullshit. It's fucking bullshit. And you're trying to destroy my culture, and you're just trying to destroy my history. Okay. And it's just like, fuck off. That's why I'm rude, because you're literally attacking me and my family and my ancestry. That's why I'm rude. And yeah, we are all one human family, but this is my like clan. So if you want to verbally attack it and keep saying bullshit about it like that and try and fucking like slate me off and shit like that, it's just like, you're fucking over here taking the piss. You're fucking over here taking our benefits, taking what my people 99% have worked for. Remember that 99% white British built everything around you that you are fucking enjoying. Your mobile phone and all that shit. I'm not saying they built your mobile phone, but I'm saying you've got that mobile phone in your hand because of what my ancestors did. I'm not saying they invented it. I'm not, and they might have helped invent it, but do you know what I mean? There won't be the shop, there won't be the road, there won't be the Wi-Fi network built, all that stuff. This country wouldn't be where it is if it was for 99% white British. Just remember that. And that's why I'm being so like this with you, so rude, because you're being disrespectful to me. Why are you even saying it like, you have to understand that white people had black slaves. Just let that sink in. Black people have white slaves now. The Ottoman Empire is still going, as far as I'm concerned. In Muslim countries, they have black slaves. So, and horrible shit going over there. So let that sink in, yeah. Let that sink in. Let that sink. Go and learn about the Ottoman Empire with the Islams back in the day. Go learn about that, because the shit they used to do. I listened to crazy stuff, and it's like it's so fucking awful. So let that sink in, yeah. Let that sink in. That's so fair. You're like, what happened to the Nathaniel I used to know who used to be mindful of us? I'm being mindful now. You're being disrespectful to my family, to my people who have worked on this land for thousands of years for you to enjoy it. How the fuck would you speak to you if you were me? You'd speak how I'm speaking to you right now. I've not clicked on the picture of the fella, but I'm just assuming he's done something probably bad. And it just makes me fucking laugh because you're the one making this a race thing. You do realize that. I'm not saying like all white people are fucking angels and they're so fucking good and they've never committed any crimes. We're all are you even aware that we're all literally the ancestors of rape victims? Like somewhere along my ancestry, somewhere along all of our ancestry, there would have been rapes, there would have been bad things like that. Like I'm not saying we're all fucking good and we're all fucking brilliant. There's bad people in our society, and we definitely need to be working on fixing that. Like I've said in another voice note, we need to be doing both things. We need to be stopping people coming over illegally who we know might commit those horrible crimes, who have historically committed those horrible crimes, and we need to fix the people around us. It's just that no one's doing the boat thing because people like you are trying to stop them. And it's like, why would you try and stop people who want to stop people coming over here who want to do horrible things to women and children? Why would you want to do that? Do you know what I mean? So let that sink in.
I'm just going to reply all together to your voice notes. Right, where you're saying that people have, if the migrant, well, not the migrants, but the students and stuff that are over here working, if they were all kicked out, white people or whatever would be given the opportunity to work. Okay, when those students and those people weren't here, um, you still didn't get them jobs. So why are people saying that they're stealing their jobs? But I'm sorry, now when them people weren't here, you still weren't getting them jobs. So please make it make sense. Oh dear Lord. And no, I'm not being rude or disrespectful or anything. And neither am I flipping the script. I'm just trying to make it make sense and make sense out of what you're saying. Actually, I've not, like you're saying about the Ottoman and how it was like the Muslim Empire, whatever. Um, what I'm telling you about white British people having black slaves, that's actually history. Please go have a look into it. Search the internet, read books. It's actually true. So if you're trying to say the Muslim Ottoman Empire, whatever, it's been the way it's been, like really cruel, mean, nasty. So has the British. Please look into it.
Oh, I just read it. Yeah, knives. I ain't got a problem with them having knives. To be honest with you, I think I think we should have guns. To be honest with you, but I do think we should have an education around knives and guns. Because the thing with me is, I was actually brought up with knives, so I used to carry knives around with me and no issue at all. Because I literally used to be going outdoors with my dad. I think you remember my dad like outdoors. I think you remember I showed you a picture one time of me and him up a mountain and stuff. So knives to me are nothing. I've had machetes, all sorts of stuff. But it's just like I do think there needs to be a better education around it, and obviously gangs and stuff like that. It's like yeah, they need to be sorted out. They need to have we need to have more schemes in place, a better education system, so these people have a more optimistic view on the world. Because if these people are just in this gang culture and they just think, yeah, I'm just going to rob people and do this and do that, and they're not thinking about the future. They need to think about the future. I'd have a situation where it's like there's like school for as long as people need to educate themselves to get themselves ready for life. Do you know what I mean? But just like constant classes and all that kind of stuff. Because there's so much, from what I've learned over the past few years, there's just so much that's not being taught to us in the school system back when I was in school, and more fucking bullshit's in there now. And it's just like not skills. I think everyone should be learn. Everyone should learn how to do electricianing. Everyone should learn to do plumbing. Everyone should learn to know how to build a car and build a house. You know what I mean? Why haven't we all got this kind of education? Think how great the country could be if we did. And it's like we kind of did used to have that back before World War II and stuff, and then it just started to go away a bit for some fucking reason. But it's like it would just be good life skills, wouldn't it? You know what I mean? How to manage money, how to not get stressed out, like mindfulness and stuff like that.
Can you stop saying people like you? Because I'm against illegal immigrants. I'm against people not doing stuff the right way. Because my religion teaches no rape, teaches no murder, teaches respect, teaches you not to judge other people. So when you say people like you, that's very fucking offensive. So please fucking stop saying that, okay? Because I can also turn around and speak to you in the same tone that you're speaking to me. That's first things first. If you want respect, earn the respect, and I will respect you back. But I'm entirely against people coming here, people like not using the system correctly, not following the law, not following the rules that are set. I'm against that. So before you start pointing guns at me, maybe try to know what my perspective is before judging me.
Do you really not understand how you're being rude by telling me when I'm saying me and my country, you're finding that rude? You're finding me, a person whose ancestors have been here for thousands of years, you're finding me rude when I say me and my country. That's been, like I say, 99% built white British. And the reason that 1% or that 0.1% was there to add anything is because we built it for them to add something. So if you can't see that you're the one being rude, and you talk to me about me interpreting what you're saying, it's like look at yourself. You're interpreting me. You're listening to the way I'm speaking, my tonality and stuff like that, and then you're seeing that as aggressive. Whereas I might have called you a bitch and stuff because I think you were being a bitch back then. But guess what? Everyone's capable of being a bitch. Everyone's capable of being a retard. We all say stupid things sometimes. Don't take it so personal. But yeah, it's just that's so fucking insulting. Like you're there, like saying, like, "Oh, I think you're being rude every time you say like your country." My fucking ancestors built the shit. What is ownership of something if it's like not 99.9% built it? Do you know what I mean? I've worked on this body. I've worked out. Do I not own that? Do I not? Do you know what I mean? But obviously, my body's just earth, wind, fire, water, and all that kind of stuff, and we're all earth, wind, fire, water. We're all connected. But do you know what I mean? It's just like, what are you talking about? So disrespectful. And you can't even say, you can't even humble yourself to admit that. You can't let your ego go and realize that you've been insulting a bunch of people for probably ages and putting them down. And every time people are like my country, you're just like, that's rude, that's racist. Blah, blah. And it's like it's probably fucking gonna break your mind to realize how insulting you've been being. Unless you've been doing it intentionally. If you have been doing it intentionally, fuck you. get the fuck out of my country if you have been doing it intentionally.
Yes, you're right. They don't really teach life skills at school anymore. The only thing they have been teaching year sixes is fucking sex education, which I believe is not a life skill. Yes, you need to know how your body works. Yes, you need to learn about your emotions. Yes, you need to learn about your impulses. Yes, you need to learn about um, certain things. But they're teaching kids sex, they're teaching kids all of these things. What they're not teaching them is how to control the emotions, how to control the impulses when it comes to that, how to um, not have certain thoughts towards other women or girls even. There's less of mindfulness and there's more of like just um, having certain topics just implemented and just introduced. I feel like I agree with you. I feel like if more life skills were there, um, it would be such a fucking better place.
Going to church is a beautiful thing, and it's a really great space to pray and meditate and have community and stuff like that. But if you really are getting into or wanting to understand or wanting to learn about Christianity, because the word Christianity, first off, is just the word for a person who is following the teachings of Jesus. I usually tell people I just follow the teachings of Jesus. I don't refer to myself as a Christian, but that's Christianity, that's what it means. And the thing is, like, a lot of people will say, like, oh yeah, but Christians, like when I'm sort of debating people about Islam and other things like this, other religions and Christianity, they'll say, oh yeah, but Christians did this bad thing and that bad thing. But the truth is, if you're really following the teachings of Jesus, you don't do bad things, because you are my sister. Do you know what I mean? We're all made in the image of God and all that kind of thing. So you don't do horrible things. Now, don't get me wrong. Like I say, there's still the line in the sand that I keep talking about, where it's like, well, if you're going to come to my country or you're going to come into my house and try and kill me and my family, I'm going to kill you first. You know what I mean? That's the way I look at it. So I look at it the same from my house to my country, because that's, it all starts with us. We have to look after ourselves so we can look after others. We have to look after ourselves so we can look after the country, so we can look after our home and so on. So yeah, but yeah, so there's people who do bad things in Christianity, but if you're following the teachings of Jesus, um, and you're really getting into that, it's all about having love and compassion for everyone, even your enemy, and just knowing that if we all knew better, we would all do better. If you and I in this conversation right now, because we're obviously both like, I'm right, I'm right, I'm right, I'm right, right? Apart from obviously when someone says a bit of information that's new, and like I said with the flag thing, and you didn't know that, even though it's got a massive fucking cross on it, and I'm just joking, because even I didn't used to know that. Even I didn't used to know that, but it is kind of fucking obvious. But it's like being humble and learning new things and stuff and following the teachings of Jesus. It's about finding out who you are. It's about finding out who you are. So I created this thing called the United Kingdom of Jesus Christ. I've got Facebook pages, YouTube's, an X account and stuff like that, Instagram and stuff. And it's all about studying all of the religions, because I believe that there is a thread of the teachings of Jesus in all religions, because that's what I did. I studied all religions, meditated for hundreds of hours, read loads of different books, loads of spiritual books, loads of self-development books. And that's how I really found God, getting into prayer and going into church. It wasn't necessarily the church thing. It wasn't like a lot of people think, where it's like they think, oh, I'll just start going to church and then that makes me a Christian. Do you know what I mean? It's about finding God, and church is a part of that, but it's not like what a lot of people think, where it's like the main part. God is within. Do you know what I mean? So it's like it's all about doing the hard work that no one wants to do. So are you saying, I'm only a little bit way through this voice note, you're saying about when people who were coming over from students were getting jobs, white people weren't getting jobs or something before that. And it's like, look, there is jobs out there. If people want to really have the attitude to go and get jobs, then obviously the jobs are out there. But obviously, if there's a high influx of people coming in that don't need to be here, and like I say, remember, you really try and remember this bit, right? If they're horrible towards the country, they're committing crimes in the country, if they don't care about the country, if they don't want to listen and learn and understand the heritage and then appreciate that, I want them to fuck off. So not necessarily all of them. I talk to many people who are either have just come over here or traveled here on holiday here, or are on the visa thing, studying, or the parents moved over here, grandparents moved over here, whatever. Lovely people, working hard, appreciate the country. But some don't. And it's those the ones, a part of the people that I want to get rid of. Because why the hell would you want people in a country who don't like the country? Especially they don't like the country and they don't like the people as well. This is more to the point. They don't like the white British people. So they're in a country, they don't like the white British people. They want to try and make the country their country, even though me and my ancestors have been here, like I say, for thousands of years. And then they want to call off like race and all this bunch of shit. It's like I want to kick them out. But also, there's a lot of white people that are like that because they've been hit with the brainwashing. They've been hit with diversity is our strength. How can diversity be a historically white country's strength? Make that make sense. It doesn't make sense. It's the genocide of my people, and I don't use that word lightly as well. That's what it feels like. This is my reality. This is what the way I'm seeing it. So, and I'm not the only one. Okay. So, and the thing is, if you want to really try and have respect for me when you're talking to me, think think about what I'm saying instead of just being like, no, you're wrong, no, you're wrong, no, you're wrong. Go away and think about it. And I'm not gonna um like I mean, after this conversation today, hopefully you will go away and think about it. Is what I'm trying to say. I would appreciate that if you did that. You know what I mean? But yeah, when you're talking about like when the students weren't here, those people weren't getting the jobs. See, again, you're trying to insult me. You're trying to insult me and my people. Like I've said, there's some fucking retard white people out there. Like, you know what I mean? Or some people with just severe mental health disabilities that I'm not going to judge too bad. But you know what I mean? You're trying to have a go at me because of those people who aren't going to get jobs. And you're literally laughing at me. Like, I'm sorry, no, but when those students weren't here, they weren't getting jobs. Do you know what I mean? What the fuck is that? Why are you doing that? You are in trying to insult me. And there are literally people stealing jobs. It's called DEI, right? It's where someone gets picked for a job because they're not white British. There's literally things in the Air Force where it's like they don't want white men or something like that. And there's loads of places that are doing that. So politely shut the fuck up because that is happening. White people are getting pushed out of jobs. White British people are getting pushed out of jobs. People like myself who are talking about this, England stuff and stop the boats and stuff like that, we're massively getting judged. We're getting called far right, racist, Nazis. Do you know what I mean? And if you can't think like that's wrong, why the hell are people whose ancestors built this country, who are proud of that, getting now pushed out and diversity pushed in? Like, do you not see that that's fucked up? That is fucked up. Right, you're just doing the same fucking bullshit where you're like, look how bad the British have been. Look how bad the British have been. Look into it. You're saying this about the Ottoman Empire. Look how bad the British have been. White people have owned slaves. I know white people have owned slaves. I don't give a shit. That's the past. I don't own slaves. I don't want to own slaves. I think that's wrong. I think owning slavery is wrong. And a lot of people in Britain did. That's why they fucking ended slavery. But yet it's still going on in Muslim countries. Why don't you look into that? Yeah. So you're literally trying to make this racist. You're literally trying to give hate to white people. That's literally what you're doing. Why you're in a fucking white country? Go fucking move somewhere else if you don't like it. If you just come here to insult me and insult my people, like, oh look what white people do, look what white people do, instead of looking at the fact that we've improved, like I've improved. You can't do that, can you? You can't look at the fact and think like, oh, people have improved, people have gained, people have learned, people are doing better, and that's what made Great Britain Great Britain.
Have you ever looked into the fact that maybe there isn't any hate against white men when it comes to jobs? Maybe employers are looking at skills and who's more skilled, who's more qualified, who holds degrees, who's done their bachelor's, who's done their master's. Because I don't think, let's say 1% is against white people getting jobs, but I fail to believe that majority of employers are doing that. I mean, it's the UK, and majority employers are white. So I fail to believe that they're being racist towards, white people when it comes to jobs, etc.
I will continue to say people like you because what I mean, without you misinterpreting it, is what we call lefty leading ideologies. Because if we're right leaning, the opposition is left leaning. And that's what you are. You're against all that. You're against all what I'm for. So although you say that you are against you want to stop the illegal boats and stuff like that coming over, or you're against immigrants coming over and shit like that. So yeah. The thing is, I want to ask you this: one, are you against racism? Two, if you are against racism, are you against racism towards the white British? Do you speak up about the racism towards white British people? Do you speak up about that? Like the guy Henry Novak who got killed because he was white British, and other things like that, other crimes that are happening where it's just seems to be a lot of white British getting killed and stuff like that. Are you against that? What do you think about that?
And no, again, you misinterpreted my voice note. And I just feel like you keep misinterpreting everything that I'm saying. So I'm just not even going to have this conversation with you no more because you just, I don't know, it's just like bashing my head against the wall talking to you. Yes, I am against white British racism. I am against what happened to Henry. I think it was terrible. I think it shouldn't have happened. I don't understand why it happened. I don't understand why, that took place. And yeah, I did speak about it on my social media. I don't post myself, but when I've seen videos and I've seen people being racist, yes, I did, comment. I did speak up against it. I got hate for it as well from other people. But I guess that is just how it is, and it is what it is, right? But racism is everywhere. Racism isn't just against white people, it's against people with different backgrounds. You need to understand that, Nathaniel. It's not people are after white people. People are after all fucking races. Wake the fuck up. It's not just white people.
When you talk about your religion teaches you all that stuff, I've been learning about your religion. Okay, a lot. Been learning a lot. Been learning about what is it? The sword chapter, the sword. What is it? The chapter. I think it's called the sword or something like that. Where it's about take what your right hand or something or other, and it's on about taking slaves, taking sex slaves, concubines, stuff like that. Following the Prophet Muhammad, who married a 6-year-old and consummated the marriage when she was 9, which is classes as modern day paedophilia. So he's a paedophile. So the whole group of people following a paedophile as their prophet, from the book. So yeah, slavery, going to war with everyone who's not Muslim. So Christians, Jews, Hindus, Buddhists. So me, and also teaching lying to people who are to protect yourself, who against like Christians and stuff like that. So I've been learning a lot about religion, and I can quite easily Google search those chapters. So I probably know a bit more about you than if you think it teaches about love and stuff like that. Because what I've seen, it teaches about life. It teaches that to believe Jesus Christ is God is a bigger sin than taking child sex slaves. That's what I've learned. And I've learned some Arabic as well. I've learned like mashallah, alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar, kalas. No, I always say that wrong. No, is that right? Is that right? Kalas. Yeah, it means like stop until our end. So that's what I've been learning, and I've been cross-referencing it. I've been searching. Is this correct? Is this correct? Double checking it, triple checking it, quadruple checking it, and that's what it seems to come back. And that's what we keep talking to people about. And we've got Qurans, and we're teaching people this is what it says, so people know. You're talking to me about talking to you respectfully, and then I'll give you respect, and you respect me back. I wish you would fucking just think for a second. Like I'm talking to you the way you're talking to me. Yeah? Can you get that in your head? Who messaged who today? Did you message me? And how was the start of that message? Oh, you're into stops the boats now and shit like that. Hmm? And then look on the messages before that. What was the last message before that? The last message sent me in February or whenever the fuck it was. Where you're calling me, what is it, a gaslighter or some shit like that? I'm talking to you this way because that's how you're talking to me. And you don't like it. And that's your problem. So, but I'm happy to keep talking because this is good. I think this is good because I think, you know what, at the end of it, you might stop messaging me back ever again, but hopefully go and think about some shit and maybe see I'm right in a lot of it. And then maybe we could one day have a good conversation and I would really like that. But otherwise, you might just fuck off for a fuck off for a really long time and just be like, he's crazy and don't talk to me ever again. Which either way is good.
Sorry, but did you know? in my religion, there's sects, there's sectors, there's groups. You have the Hanafi, you have the Hanbali, you have the Shafi, you have the Maliki. Are you aware of this? Are you aware of the sectors? Are you aware of these four groups of peoples? Are you aware of Sunni Shia? Are you aware that Sunnis believe different stuff from what Shias do? Are you aware of the sectors of the Ahl Sunnah wal Jamaat and the other sectors as well? Are you aware that one sector believes things strictly than the other sectors? Do you know these things? I'm just, you know, checking in with you. Because if you were aware and if you have read into my religion so much and you know it so well, I'm hoping you know these things. By the way, how old was Rebecca? I'm a bit confused.
So I'm a bit further back in voice notes, and you just said you want me to understand your perspective before judging you, and yet you're telling me I'm rude for saying this is my country when my ancestors been here for thousands of years. I just want you to think about that. Who's the one being rude? Listen, it has been really lovely talking to you. And I've really actually enjoyed it. It's been good. It's been the most intelligent conversation we've probably ever had, and it's good. But yeah, so I've got to go do some shit now. I will come back later, or when I've got time, and listen to the rest of them and reply to the rest of them. But I've got like a pretty busy day today. So yeah, but I would like to continue the conversation, if you would. If you don't like the way I'm talking to you, by all means, leave, block me. But if you do leave and you do block me because you don't like the way I'm talking to you, never contact me again because, as I think I said, I will contact the police. You just keep popping up out of nowhere. You have no consideration if I've got a missus or anything like that, and you just talk bullshit to me. But like I say, this conversation's been good, I think, because we are both learning about each other, ourselves, our human family, and then the history of Great Britain and learning respect for that. And you know what I mean? And you're seeing where I'm coming from, I'm seeing where you're at. And I think we are trying the best we possibly can to communicate that to each other. But yeah, so I've got to go now. I'll listen. Like I say, I think I've got like 2 or 3 voice notes to listen to. So, but yeah, you take care of yourself. Um, I think we've both got the brain cells in us to at least reflect on the things that have been said and think about maybe where we can improve, or maybe if we're wrong and be humble and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Or at least I hope we both have. Yeah, all right, you take care, bye.
Okay, I agree. My The first initial message that I sent wasn't the correct way to approach you. Maybe that's why you're highly offended. So I do apologize, but the rage, the anger, the disrespect from your side was just very invalid when I was just speaking to you respectfully. Um, Also, I would like to keep in touch because we do have quite a lot of history, I guess. Would like to keep in touch.
I am pretty busy still today, but I just popped on here. I've noticed your profile picture's changed, which I'm wondering what do you look like now? Are you still lovely? I'm trying to be polite. And I see a lot of messages have been deleted. Did you say things you regretted? We all do it. We all do it. Anyway, I hope you're all right. Mashallah.
No, I don't think I regret anything that I say. Just factual information that I am British. I am a British national. And my ethnic background is Pakistani. So yeah, it doesn't matter if my parents are from Pakistan, that's ethnic background. But I am who you are. It's just that my ancestors are not British, which doesn't really make a difference and still doesn't, you know, make any sense to why you're saying go back to your own country. That doesn't apply to me, by the way, for your information. I just thought I'd let you know that you're mixing ancestry with ethnic backgrounds. So yeah, maybe look into that next time you tell someone to go back to their own country. So rude of you to assume that, if I still look good or not. I actually look great. I look awesome. I look way better than you. Let's just put it that way. And I don't need to put a picture out there. I mean, my profile picture was on before, and that is what I actually look like. So that's that. I look after myself. I look after my skin, and I dress the way I want to dress. I dress well, I dress good, I do good in life, and I don't upset others with unnecessary bullshit that comes out my mouth, okay?
You are so full of shit, and you are so fucking rude. You're the kind of people that I would kick out of my country, because it's my country, because my people built it. My ethnic group built it, if you want to put it that way. If you want to put it, why British? You're not British, by the way, because British, where did British come from? White people. English, Scottish, Welsh, Irish, white people. So you're not British, are you? The same as I'm not Pakistani. The same as if I moved to Pakistan and had a white child in Pakistan, that child would not be Pakistani, would they? No. Like, use your brain. I think you're just trying to wind me up, honestly. And you're talking about like, oh yeah, I look loads better than you. I look loads better than you. Then why are you always stalking me? Why are you always every 6 months messaging me? Like, why do that? You know what? I used to do that to my exes that I really liked, that I really like, still had feelings for and shit like that, and had a good time with them, good memories and stuff like that. So like, get over yourself, yeah. You're rude. You're benefiting from my ancestors. You're benefiting off of my ancestors that worked the fucking arse off, that died, that battled each other, the kings and queens and all that bullshit. And you're just a spoiled bitch. You're literally just a spoiled bitch. And you're disrespectful to the people that give you everything. And you're just getting away with it because my culture has allowed that. That's why you keep going on like, that's why you're talking the fucking way you're talking, like, I am British, I am British. No, you're not. You're not fucking British, like I'm not Pakistani. Like, stop it. I'm gonna seriously end this conversation if you don't like really start to check yourself, because it's just you're just being fucking dumb, you're being fucking rude. And I'm gonna start taking it like you purposely are meaning to do that, just to talk bullshit like what you say you don't. The reason I would kick you out of my country, by the way, is that I have this standard, right? Illegals, yeah, they should be stopped, they shouldn't be allowed in, and the ones that are here should be kicked out instantly. That's instantly. The people who are legal here, it should be checked if they've got crimes or if they hate the country and stuff like that, and they should be kicked out. So the ones that are good, working hard, appreciate what my people have given for them to have a life over here in the first place, because it's been made good over here because of my people. 99% of my people made it this way. They built the foundation for anyone else to add to it. Okay, so it's like, if people are coming over here and then they're appreciative of that, they can stay, and they're appreciative of the flag, and they're not fucking as rude as you. But if they're as rude as you can fuck off. You can fuck off and then say how good you're fucking at it. How about that?
Sorry, but I'm not listening to all of your voice notes because it just sounds like absolute bullshit and rage. I've not benefited from your fucking ancestors. I don't even fucking care about your fucking ancestors. Who were your fucking ancestors, for starters? And you keep mentioning ancestors, ancestors, ancestors. Please just shut the fuck up. Lastly, you're full of shit. You're absolute full of shit. I've not benefited from no one. Your ancestors, I couldn't give a fuck for all I care. Like, I literally don't give a fuck. In all honesty. In all honesty. It doesn't apply to me. It doesn't apply to anyone that lives here. No one gives a flying fuck. You just want to be a racist fucker, which is why you keep using ancestors, ancestors. Just shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up. No one's benefiting from your fucking ancestors. You keep them, okay? You keep them. You don't even know who your ancestors were. Can you even name one of your fucking ancestors? No, you fucking cannot. So how about you just shut the fuck up and sit the fuck right back down? Just admit that you hate Muslims, you hate all races, you hate all religions. You hate everyone because you believe your ancestors sacrificed themselves for the United Kingdom. Oh, just shut up. You sound like a crazy nonce. I have to wait like 48 hours to block you. I hope you don't reply back to any of these voice notes, because if you do, I'll report you for harassment and racism. And believe me, I would fucking do that. Like, I literally will. I have screenshots and screen recordings of all of your voice notes that come across as rage, come across as racism, come across as toxic, telling me to go back to my own country. Yeah, you can pretty much get done for all the shit that you've said.
You are so fucking dumb. This is how dumb you are, right? Go and live in Pakistan. That's where your parents came from. And if they hadn't moved over here, where it's Great Britain, you would be living in Pakistan, wouldn't you? How would your life be in Pakistan? Fucking think about how your life would be in Pakistan. Would it be good? Or would you want to move to Great Britain as well? That's what my ancestors did for you. Yeah? So I'm done talking to you now for the day and probably forever. If I can be actually asked in the next fucking 10 days or whatever to look at my phone again and see, oh, she's messaged me, let me see what she says. But I honestly can't be asked anymore because I just think it's going to be fucking bullshit. It's going to be fucking bullshit. And you're wasting my fucking time. Go back to Pakistan and say how fucking much you enjoy it there. Much do you think it's going to be better than the United Kingdom? No. It's going to be bullshit. It's going to be fucking dog shit. So go back there. Go back there. You don't care about my ancestors. Fucking go back there then. Why are you here if you don't care? Why are you here? Why are you staying here? Why don't you go back to your people, huh? Yeah, talk shit. Keep talking shit. You're fucking calling me the racist and you're saying you don't care about my ancestors. You are the fucking racist. You dumb racist bitch. Go back to Pakistan. Fuck off. You're taking advantage of white British people. Fuck off. You are scum. And if you don't leave, guess what, buddy? Time's gonna tick along and you will be left. If it was up to me, you'd be gone tomorrow. Be gone today. Be gone in 5 minutes if it was up to me. So just think about that, yeah. And check, get your fucking bags ready. Get your fucking bags ready because you're gonna go back to that country that you apparently is better than us because you don't care about us. You don't care about my ancestors. You don't care about everything that's good over here because you're fucking dumb. Goodbye.